Actually, Karanth, knowing the kind of work I do, I mean, working with women and a little bit about women's issues, he used to keep talking about Surabhi many times. And he used to say that, you must go and work there and you must see how the women work and what are the kind of stresses and the kind of energy the women bring to Surabhi. So he was always very much kind of centered on Surabhi. Many, many times I felt that. And then there was this opportunity for us to work together because Ala Ripu was handling, Ala Ripu is the group, my group, and we were working with the traditional forms. And the people in Surabhi said that the only person they would really like to work with is Karanth. And that suited everyone. And then I asked Karanth if he would come and work with Surabhi, and he agreed immediately. So now this was very interesting because interesting and also very strange to see him working in those conditions, because Surabhi was based in a small village and Karanji was staying in the house of a panchayat member, and because that was the only sort of proper room around, and then he would go to the Surabhi camp and work there. And it was a lot of hard work, and he was not well. It was very much later in life that he was doing this work. His dream, he always used to say that, this is the work that I want to do, and this is the work I want to sort of, which will come at the end. I mean, I want to find time to do this work. It was very important for him in that sense. So but when he was actually working, he was not in very good health. But despite it, what I noticed was the kind of effort that he put into this project. And now the play, keeping the Surabhi temperament and their work in mind, what we worked out was this play called Chandi Priya. And when we started working on Chandi Priya, Karanji's first reaction was, "Isme mere liye karne ko kya hai?" They are doing their usual curtains and usual magic, and what is there for me in it? So then we said, no, you do it the way you want to do it. So the first thing that he did was he took out the magic, reduced the magic. I won't say took out, because he said that this magic has made them dependent on the magic, and the actor or the performer has become very weak. So I remember watching one rehearsal where the two arrows from opposite side would come. And it was very nice. And then I said, Karanji, why don't we do it twice? And he said, no. Then that is not theatre. Theatre में repetition नहीं होता है. फिर वो दूसरी चीज़ हो जाएगी. So using their things but changing it. And the other thing that I noticed was that he substituted the magic with the magic of music. And he wrote and he composed new songs. And the songs are again very catchy, because when I watched the shows, actually saw the audience moving with the music, and the music to carry the play forward. And so he went through a process where he was shifting that artist from the artists, the kind of props they had sort of started relying on, the magic, the tricks, the curtains, and to get them more into becoming better actors and better performers. And his whole thing again and again was that I'm not saying that they should not do tradition, what they are doing, but they shouldn't do this because this is the only thing that they can do. They should be exposed to other types of theatre, other types of acting, and let them make a choice. But they shouldn't do this just because they cannot be a modern actor, therefore they are a traditional actor. And he had a kind of, when he used to come to do productions in the school, he would say sometimes, look, this is not my work, this is the actor's work or the teacher's work to do with the actor. You can't expect me to do all this basic work now. But there I found him actually doing very basic work with those actors. And then I asked him, I said, you are struggling so much with them. And he said, if I can be from a company culture and go to Banaras and do what I did and then work in Delhi and do what I have done, why can't they do it? And I think this was his basic dream or ambition, was that why can't they do it? Why should there be only one Karanth? Why can't there be so many more who can cross this threshold and do something more, cross the boundary. And I really found, and it was quite amazing to see the kind of hard work, physical energy that he was investing in this exercise with these actors and with the Surabhi group. And it was, he would scold them and he would, but it was like like it was with a very oneness. It was not like he's an outsider or, he's not training them as such, but he was working with them and he was pushing them along. And then the second play that we did with Surabhi was Good Woman of Sedzua. My role in the whole project was to work along with the script and sort of just, even the script I did not write, but it was like working collaboratively with the script writers who were working with Surabhi. Chandi Priya incidentally has crossed over 150 shows. It's been one of their most successful productions, and probably, one of the few new productions that have got added into their repertoire thanks to Karan's whole handling of the project. And then he was more ambitious and he wanted to do, and he did Good Woman of Sedzua with them. And this was tough for those actors, but he really used, he further took away the curtains, in fact, he more or less absolutely took out the magic by the time he started working on this. And this was a very tough exercise to do with that group, but he really was giving them a push forward. And I think for the training of the Surabhi actors, it was a very, very important thing that happened with them. And again, one of the questions I remember asking him when he was working on this is, the central character is a prostitute, or if you know the play. And he was handling her very, in a very, what shall I say, not using the usual stance that you find in a play which is given to a woman of that nature. I found her, he was treating her as a very ordinary, very normal housewife type of walking, sitting, gestures, posture, stance. So I asked him, why are you doing this? Why are you not giving her the usual theatrical stance which would identify very clearly what her profession is? And he said, only you can ask me this question. And then he said, look, the Surabhi culture is a very family culture. This is a family-based group. And they work in the village, and they work, so the women have to be presented in a particular way that there is no disrespect that is generated for the women. And I thought that was really coming from a very seasoned director to see this, that it was not the stance of the production. The stance required in the production was not his aim, but the working of the group, the environment and the culture in which this group is performing, that he kept all that in mind. And one could say that he compromised on maybe the acting nuance, but for something more important and something which was of more significance to him. That maturity I was very impressed with, and I think he worked very thoughtfully with Surabhi. And he saw all these things, that what would fit into their nature and yet what would give them a push. And his dream was actually to give them a push and make the actor more accomplished and more equipped to handle, say, contemporary themes, subjects, and maybe perform in a very contemporary way. And that is what the second play, Good Woman of Sedzua, actually succeeded in doing. For the Surabhi actors, the level of comfort was not very high because it was a push. But I think as part of the training or as part of a process, it was very significant. And many people criticized Karan for this. They said that what they do so well, why do you want to interfere, or why do you want to take them out? But Karan's thing was that it was not an interference, because he saw it as him also, like it was not what he had imbibed was not an interference in what he was at the beginning. And he had evolved and grown. And his whole thing was that they too can evolve and grow. and he wanted to take the audience along. I'm not sure whether the Metropolis audience was very understanding of this venture, because when that production Good Woman of Sedzua came to Delhi, there was this kind of thing that why is he trying to change them? But he was not trying to change them. I think he was trying to again give them a choice and leave it to them to make the decision. But again, not do it out of necessity, but out of a choice or preference of doing the kind of theatre that they do. Some of them were brilliant, but some of them were almost not using their entire resource. And I think his struggle was to make it more actor oriented and to push the actor forward. And not just make it into a form of gilded curtains and two-dimensional sets. That was his struggle. I mean, it was like a struggle is what I felt. And he wanted them to be characters and walk around, move around, sing, dance, sit, talk, all that, and not, as you're saying, just be like in front of the curtains. And a lot of sometimes the tricks do all the things for them. Also, I think when you're used to one kind of performance, then coming out of the mold, he was trying to break the mold. That's something that they had got used to. But then to come out of it and be more expressive in that way. I've been his student, and well, he has been major influence. I mean, although my work is very different from the kind of work Karan did, but I think it was a very, very major influence in the sense that the madness that you see in NST today is partly his creation. Because I mean, he came and he started this early morning to late night schedule and working day in and day out, and actually making us breathe in and out theatre, and making us a bit mad about just wanting to be in theatre, doing theatre and being involved in theatre. Also few things like his whole ability of taking risks and not always being focused on coming out with a neat, accomplished production, but to try something new, inventive, innovative. And his whole thing was, his fear was that he didn't want to repeat himself. And he would constantly say that, look, I think ye tune usse milta hai, so he wouldn't do it, he would try something else. And so it was like also learning to cross thresholds is one thing that I have learnt very much from him. The second thing is that he was a man who understood theatre as a collective experience of the audience and the performance. And that is why he never bothered with too much of realism in theatre. But when you look at his films, you find that he is realistic to detail. So it is not that he did not notice the realistic details, but he did not find theatre the place to bring those details in. And therefore, theatre as being not so much like into the nitty-gritty of the, day-to-day behavior, but to make that into a performing metaphor and to find something in a theatrical way which would maybe bring the essence of it, but not repeat it or not replicate the reality. And this, I think, was a very mature way of looking at the world and looking at theatre and transforming, not transcending, but transforming the real into the magical space of theatre. And he was very embedded in the sounds, the reality, and the world around him. But he felt that the stage is not miniature replica, but it is a different way of treating this reality. And there I have a lot of respect for what he did and how observing him and watching his productions and disagreeing, agreeing, learning about the world of theatre itself and how theatre has to find its idiom from real, but not be real, not copy the real. And that is one very major thing that I think influenced. The other thing was his whole thing about total theatre that he talked about. That theatre totality, it incorporates everything, all kinds of emotions, energies. And when he talked of the folk theatre, he did not talk of folk forms. What he meant was the energy of that performance, which is the living energy of the actor which interacts with the audience. And his focus on energy, his focus on the energy of the rustic energy. And I think that when he was our teacher, we used to laugh and say that, hum Delhi wale hain, to Karan ji doesn't like Delhi wale because we don't have a folk form. But seriously speaking, what he meant was the energy. And the energy of that performance is actually the energy of theatre. And that, I think, is something that I do try to retain in my productions, even if they are different in many ways from what he did. But I always remember his focus on energy and the livingness of theatre vis-a-vis the image, but to be more actor-centered and more actor-focused. And his whole thing was taking theatre forward. I mean, not to repeat, and also taking it to places where it does not exist. I mean, the whole culture of freelancing. And many places I went and worked, and Karant had already worked there before. And I remember him telling me one very nice thing. I was very young and I used to not like many groups. And he told me that you don't like the groups, it's all right. But you don't have to tell that to the groups. Because next time you don't have to go and work there. Somebody else can go and work there, but don't close a gate. ऐसा मत करो कि वहाँ थिएटर के लिए दरवाज़ा बंद हो जाए. दरवाज़ा रहने दो, तुम्हें नहीं जाना मत जाओ, लेकिन किसी दूसरे के लिए रास्ता ज़रूर बना कर आओ. And I have always remembered that make a way for somebody else. So work in theatre in a way that you're making way for somebody else to come and work there. You move out. You don't have to feel that. And I also give this advice to my students, that make a way for somebody else. And I think he was like a thread like that for many of us. I think for a whole generation, that we learnt not just about theatre, but about how to do theatre, and about how to keep it creative, how to keep it alive, how to take risks, how to spread it, and how in a way disagree with each other but yet be supportive. I mean, you could disagree with Karant and yet you could be a friend. And I think that kind of discourse I do miss now, when people have very strong isms. We all have our views, but the fraternity, he really created that fraternity amongst, he's amongst many people, he's the connection. I'm friend of somebody because I feel I can talk to somebody because, well, that somebody also has learned something from Karant. So you feel there is an affinity. So that kind of warmth that he brought. Even when we were students, the classes were very informal. As I said, it was not that there was no system in it, but there was a lot of madness in it also. People say that, Karant's thing was going to the roots. And I said, no, it never was, because he was the roots himself. I mean, if you see the village where he lived and the house where he was brought up, he carried it with him throughout his life. So he did not have to pretend or make that extra effort to go and find something which was not there inside him. And I think that is what we all have our roots partly in ourselves and partly in our environment around us. And if we have missed it, then we need to transcend this self to reach there. So I think his method was actually to find something which is intrinsic both to your nature and to the nature of theatre. You have to find that which would work at both levels. And he had it in him because he was born there, he was brought up there, he carried it with him. So this has stayed, at least, I always find this, and always test yourself that it is not becoming pretentious. He would look at something and say, I find this very boring. And then you knew, well, okay, okay. but he was like, I wrote my first play when I was the student here, my first full-length play, Bahu. And I went up to him and he read the play and he told me, I'm very jealous of you because you've written a good play. But if you do it, I will have to cut your marks. Because as a direction में फिर तुम्हारा interpretation के marks नहीं मिलेंगे. तो मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, मैं अपना काम करती हूँ, आप अपना काम कीजिए. तो वही हुआ, I did my production and then of course the marking was not, he did what he had to do. But we could talk like that, and as a student, one-to-one you could have that conversation. I personally think his value we will realize with time, because it was so gentle and so unassuming that many things seemed too ordinary. But with time you realize what he meant. Like he used to talk of a theatre movement. And we used to say, well, women's movement हो सकता है, workers movement हो सकता है. But what do you mean by a theatre movement? Theatre का movement का क्या मतलब? अब जब इतना ग्लोबलाइजेशन हो रहा है, टेलीविज़न मीडिया इतना हावी हो रहा है, and you are seeing this whole passive culture coming in, where you are being made into just passive viewers, and then I realized today that even whatever be the ism of that play, if a production is done somewhere, if people in a small town get together and do theatre, they are keeping up the culture of being culturally active, being theatrically active. And in today's times, that is so difficult. That in itself is a very, very important part of our life today, to keep it alive and not give up. And then I realized that what he meant was by theatre movement was to keep up this culture of being creatively, culturally, collectively alive, and don't just sort of, take it for granted, but keep doing it. And therefore I think some of the things that he had in his mind are becoming more, for me personally, more and more relevant with time. I find him more and more, I remember many of the things more and more now. Now you sort of miss him now.